All right, I think we're started. Okay, well, welcome to our Zoom up to YSSC Zoom here, and we're excited to give you some great information about YSSC. So before we get started, just a little housekeeping. First of all, I am Dylan Levi Wade, the program director of Emerald Cove Day Camp. And here we have our Cameron Camo Ostrander, our assistant director. And then on the other screen, we have Sarah and Jessica. Sarah is the owner, executive director of Yosemite Sierra Summer Camp, and Jessica Peterson is our program director and associate director of Yosemite Sierra Summer Camp. So this will be about a 30-minute program for you guys. It is recorded, and throughout, if you have any questions about anything that comes up, we are going to give us about 10 minutes at the end to answer any of those questions. So please put them down in the chat on your screen there anytime along the way. This recording will be also available via email. And if we don't get to have time to get to any of those questions in the chat today, feel free to give us a call at any time here at the office, and we'd love to have a conversation with you. All right. So now the next thing on our agenda is I'm going to give it over to Sarah Kulias and Jessica. First, Sarah is going to give us a brief history of the YSSC and ECDC. So go ahead, Sarah, we'll give it over to you.
Give me 1 second.
Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate it. Thank you all for joining us this morning. We really hope that this time answers some of your questions and helps you kind of understand more deeply the connection between Emerald Cove Day Camp and Yosemite Sierra Summer Camp. So my camp nickname is Salsa. So if you meet any of the campers who've been with us up in Bass Lake, California, that's how they know me. And Yosemite Sierra Summer Camp was founded in 1973, actually by my parents. They had worked in the Christian Conference Center setting for many years and really felt like something was missing as far as opportunities in faith-based camps for children. They really sought out to design a program that was more whole child focused and where campers could stay longer than just 4 nights, 5 days, and really dive deep into growth. And so they went searching for an ideal location and landed at Bass Lake, California. Bass Lake is a small mountain town. It's about 15 miles south of the southern entrance to Yosemite National Park. Simply beautiful, and established what we call now YSSC. My dad liked very long titles. Yes. Yosemite Sierra Summer Camp. With the mission to help children grow in character, skills, relationships, and faith in a nurturing and very creative outdoor environment. About just a few years later, because of word of mouth, the number of children that were coming to YSSC from Orange County just expanded. We always share our favorite things, right, with our friends. And so about 80% of our campers still to this day, 50 years later, are from Orange County. And over the years, parents kept coming to my folks, and then eventually to my husband and I. We took over the program in 1998, came to us and said, my child's only 5. They're not ready to go to YSSC yet. Can you do something locally? Or maybe it said, my child is 8 and could go off to YSSC, but they're not ready yet, and I'm not ready yet. We totally understand that. And so in 2007, we took the leap and started our very first 2-week day camp program. And man, it took just that one session and we fell madly in love with the day camp setting, and actually were amazed with how much growth and joy can happen for younger kids at day camp. So Yosemite Sierra invites campers 8 years old to 16 to come and spend 2 weeks up in the Sierra. Day camp, as you know, is for 5 to 10-year-olds. And at that age of 10, we really find that nearly all kids are ready for a bigger experience. So that's why we cap day camp at 10 years old. We on purpose built Emerald Cove Day Camp around the same vision, mission, and culture that is embedded in YSSC. So everything from that whole child focus, growing character skills, healthy relationships, and faith and understanding in an unconditionally loving God. In addition to those things, we really built in a culture of affirmation, activities that are similar, songs that are similar, even the fun tradition of staff names being as goofy as Zazu and kayak and
Pickles.
salami and pickles. So that kids really kind of enter that other world. By building in those similarities, when a camper does transition from day camp to YSSC, it's so fun to hear them say, I know the goodnight song, or hey, we did that at day camp. We really want them to know it's a continuation of the family and a continuation of the experience. So many of our day campers are now heading up to YSSC. We really enjoy continuing to build that relationship with parents and families as well. And man, I hope we keep doing this for many, many years to come. So that's a little bit of the background. Again, my husband, Steve, and I have been owners and directors of YSSC since 1998. And then we founded Day Camp in 2007. So it's been a bit.
You have some experience.
Trying to. There's always something new to learn, right? Jessica, or Sprinkles, as we call her at camp, will you maybe name some of the benefits of that resident go away to camp experience that we have seen and actually has been researched over the years?
Yes, absolutely. So like Sarah also said, I'm Jessica, or Sprinkles. Hopefully your kids get to know me more as Sprinkles. So let me touch on just a couple before we transition to some of the parent testimonials, maybe the voices you really want to hear from. Let me just touch on a couple of kind of hallmark moments, things that really make camp and the benefit of camp. So first and foremost, countless anecdotes. Hopefully you hear this in the testimonials later, and research shows that a high quality resident camp experience, sleepaway camp experience, and I'll touch back on high quality in just a moment. That's an important part of the equation, but a high quality resident camp experience is one of the most impactful experiences, growth experiences for kids, youth today. Research shows this, and what we're really honing in on, some of our families who have been to camp, maybe they grew up going to camp, they can nod along hearing that, yes, that was such a transformative experience. But for some of our families who you guys have experienced it through day camp, but who haven't done that sleepaway camp, they ask us, how and why would that be the most, one of the most transformative experiences? We have lots of answers to that why and how, but one of the key things that we often talk about is transferable skills. One of the gifts of a sleepaway camp, and kids don't even know it because it's all drenched in imagination and fun and a nurturing environment, is that they are growing character in ways that as an 8-year-old, they will not be able to articulate quite yet. Give them a few years and they'll be able to say it. But they grow in confidence. Confidence comes through mastery. It comes through learning how to do something and trying again, and then actually succeeding, even if it's something as simple as shooting a bow and arrow at archery. And at camp they can grow healthy independence, and they can grow friendship skills, and certainly an appreciation for the environment, getting them into Yosemite and to see awe and wonder in a world that's bigger than just their backyard. So meaningful. And then certainly for faith-based programs like ourselves, faith is an incredible aspect of growth at camp. Kids learn differently when they are away from home. It's just true. And so getting to do it amidst characters and fun and adventure, man, they really take those skills that they learn at camp and they bring them back home. And that's what makes those skills transferable, is that confidence, that independence, those friendship skills. They come home back down the mountain with them. And our parents get to write into us often, telling us how they see these new character, formations and development, that growth present at home. I actually pulled one quote that I wanted to share. One of our session 1 parents from this summer said, "My daughter came back with a deeper spiritual connection and just a deeper and greater love and joy for her surroundings and relationships with people around her." I lied. I have one more because it's so good. One more session. I can't help myself. One more session 1 parent said, "The first day our son was back, he was already telling us he's ready to go back next year. He can't stop talking about all the things he did and the friends he made. I saw a difference in his character day 1 of being back." I'm not making this up. This parent wrote this. Day 1 of being back. This is our first year of our son going, and hoping it's not our last. We loved the daily pictures we were able to see and being able to see the joy on his face in every picture. I think overall, this is something his soul, body, and mind needed. You guys, this kiddo was 10 years old. And I'm going to be totally transparent. These were some of the first 2 quotes that I found on our parent survey of parents that sent their kids to camp this year. We have mountains of these quotes because of that high quality resident camp experience, man, that growth. So I said that I was going to talk about 3 things. Here's 2 more. I'll go through them quickly. So I talked about that high quality piece. That's very important. And so one of those things, YSSC, we're an accredited camp. We're accredited by American Camping Association. We take health and safety very seriously in many different ways. We have a small camper to staff ratio. We have an involved health center. We have comprehensive staff training. Some of our staff are with us for over 3 weeks before any kids arrive, training 6 days a week, ingesting, practicing, growing. We invest a lot in our training and our staff. We have, oodles and noodles of safety guidelines that comes with adhering to our accreditation. We have routine, informal daily check-ins with our campers. We have weekly formal check-ins. We are constantly checking in on the health and safety of our campers, and we can talk more about that if you have specific questions about any medications or concerns that you might have sending your kiddo away to camp for 2 weeks. We've probably heard them all. But try us, see if you can stump us. And then the last thing that I hardly need to paint a picture for is the benefits of being tech-free for 2 weeks. The tech-free environment of camp, man, reduces anxiety. It helps kids be more present. It awakens their imagination, grows that muscle of what do we do when we're a little bored, when we have a moment to just dream up something. Well, let's dream it up together. So having that tech-free environment is so essential. And some parents, especially for our younger kiddos, become nervous. Am I not going to be able to hear from my kid for 2 weeks then? No, you will have lots of opportunities to stay connected. That parent mentioned in that quote earlier that there are photos that are posted. We have a live, fully functioning tech full office to make sure that you are able to stay connected. You can call if you have any concerns. You're welcome to write snail mail. That's a great skill for kids to be learning. and you can send in emails. So there's lots of ways to stay connected to our office and to stay connected to your kiddo while giving them the opportunity to benefit all of what comes from being tech free for 2 full weeks. It's huge. So those are just 3, a couple of quick key, hallmarks and benefits to having a sleepaway camp experience. But like I said, there are some voices that you are going to want to hear more than just ours. So I'm going to kick it. We actually have a video that was thoughtfully crafted based off of a letter that a mom wanted to send to us. And we were so moved and touched by her words of reflection on her 8-year-old kiddo's experience that we thought we'd paint the sounds and sights of camp through a video. So I think Cameron is going to help us get that rolling.
Yes, let me get the video pulled up. Thank you so much.
Dear YSSC.
Do we have sound? Okay, go. Perfect. Thank you.
I could never have imagined my heart being tugged on the way it would be as I packed bug spray, sunscreen, toothpaste, and labeled underwear, t-shirts, board shorts in preparation to send our firstborn to YSSC at the super responsible age of 8. For heaven's sake, the kid has never even had a sleepover. I was out of my mind to think he could go live in the woods for 2 weeks with a bunch of college kids. But he was so ready, and I knew that. It's been a solid 1.5 days since our son has been home, and there is no doubt that he has been changed forever. He's calm, fully present, polite, genuinely himself, funny, respectful, sensitive, and honestly grateful. It's true. As a mom, I want to give and teach him everything. As a mom, my influence is limited, even at 8 years old. Us moms need you. We need your energy, enthusiasm, and passion. We need your fearlessness, your secure identity, and your willingness to serve. Not to mention the cool factor that somehow I lost along the way. All the things people say about the impact you are having on eternity is true. From the ops staff that gave my kid clean dishes to eat off of and sterilized toilets to sit on. The kitchen staff who provided homemade meals for days upon end and banquet cake to each table. The boat drivers who kept him safe on the busy lake and still let him think he was crazy on the banana boat. The program staff who made all the magic of camp come alive. Office folks who printed my emails. Poor kid barely got any mail. And if he did, it was probably from his dad. The photographer who captured numerous photos of my child doing really anything made our decision to send him much more valid when we could see his smiling face. Backpack guides, even though he didn't backpack, he still talks about the ropes course. And to his beloved counselor, the time you spent with that cabin will forever be a stake in the ground for our family. I can only imagine what it must have been like to have a full cabin of 8-year-olds. Know that this mom loves, appreciates, and values you beyond measure. Our family is forever grateful.
All right. Well, let's see here if we can get our next guest on here. All right. So in addition to that video, wonderful video, we have invited along another mother who has a couple campers who have gone through ECDC and YSSC, actually one in ECDC currently and one that has just moved up to YSSC. I would like to introduce Jean McKernan. So Jean, can you hear me, Jean? Can you unmute? I think she has to be unmuted there.
Oh. While we wait for that, just a reminder, we are going to be doing Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, go ahead and put them in the chat. We'll start a little Q&A after. Hi, Jean, can you hear us?
Hi, sorry.
No.
Yes, I can hear you now. I'm
Perfect.
in the car because I was in a meeting. Okay.
You're
Yeah.
good.
Hello to everyone. I don't see anyone, but my daughter Jordan, she's joined the camp for the last 3 years now, and it's what she's looking forward to every summer. Like every summer, as soon as she gets home, she goes like, when am I gonna go back? Like, and we also missed 1 year because of the pandemic, but we did visit the campgrounds with Angeline, Sarah's sister. And she was like so bummed about it that she wasn't able to go the first year that she's able to go. But then after that, she's been coming in every year. All the activities, she loved every single one. There's nothing that, well, there's nothing that she wouldn't like to do every year. And we've gone so much closer after that, because at first I didn't want her to leave for 2 weeks. It was really hard, but she's always better by the time that she gets back. She's always more, I don't know, she's inclined to go to church more, which she doesn't really like doing that. But after camp, she's always like, yeah, willing to go to church, had a better relationship with her sister, and of course with me. And I think every activity at camp is designed to help them be better. And yeah, I mean, I wish I would have like her other friends go to camp, but some of them, they also have other camps. And I tell everyone that I know with the same age that this is the best camp for, like, especially at her age. She's now 13, of course. Last summer, she's been wanting to go to Taylor Swift concert, and I was able to like secretly purchase a ticket. And she said her whole cabin is a Taylor Swift fan, and they were able to decorate the whole cabin with Taylor Swift pictures, because her cabin, the counselor is a Taylor Swift fan, and she was able to play music in the cabin because they're not allowed to bring phones, but they were able to play Taylor Swift music the whole time as well. So it was
a good
very
bonding
special for her.
experience. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and she's able to keep in touch with her cabin mates, and they from the cabin mates that she had from the first year, they always have a group message, and they just send each other like messages every day, like when they were going to camp. And now she has a new group of friends, so she has a ton of new friends. So yeah, I can't say, I mean, I don't know what else to say, but I think you guys should send your kids to this camp because it helped her so much. Especially, she was very shy at first, and now she's grown to be such, she's always living the dream when she's at camp. Yeah, I know.
Great. Yeah, great. Thank you, Jean. Just to share some of that,
you're welcome.
your experiences, and the kind of what you kind of went through, and then what she went through as well, and her just kind of see her growth when she came home. So thank you very much for sharing for this time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Yes,
Jean, can I interrupt? Jordan's been at YSSC now for 3 years, but I know probably that first year, that she moved from day camp to YSSC. What were a few more of your feelings, and how did you and your husband kind of work out, like, oh my goodness, 2 weeks is a long time? What were some of the things that you did to help yourself kind of be brave enough to send her off?
Well, because I know that it's because you guys have been doing this for 50 years. And at first, I made sure she had the letters with the envelopes so she can write me back. The day that she left, I already mailed a letter to her. As soon as she gets there, I know she'll get that letter. It's just like reassurance that I know that this camp will take care of everyone. And it was really hard. I think the first few nights that she was gone, and I sent her little sister to the day camp, so I know that I know she misses her sister so much, and the Emerald Cove Day Camp helped her cope while her sister is gone in Yosemite. And yeah, that helped a lot. My other one going to the other camp. So I know that, okay, there's no kids at home, they're at camp. So that helped me a lot too, that just for these 2 weeks, I know that my kids will be somewhere else. It's not, it helped the letters, and I know that the online pictures, I logged in online as soon as I know there's a message, they're at camp. The online pictures that help me get through, because I know there's hundreds of kids, but I see Jordan almost like maybe 1 in 20. And I do send email though, like, I didn't see her, send her a picture, and then oh my gosh, what's her name? She would send me like, yeah, we will take picture, make sure that she's on the camera pictures. And if you don't see your kids on the first day, wait a few more days and they'll be there. So that was very helpful, the online pictures for sure.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate your candor. It's no small thing, when when our kids take any big step, any milestone step, we have to grow too. And I've got 3 of my own that are older now, but
the video stopped.
Oh, are you there? It looks like we have Sarah and Jessica are frozen, but yes. So Jean, really appreciate
Okay.
they're back.
Okay.
Really appreciate you taking the time and sharing this. Yeah, it's been really special to have both of your children coming to camp, ECDC and YSSC. So yeah, and appreciate all that you've had to share for us today.
Yeah, no problem. Just let me know if however else I can help. But both my girls, even Felicity at ECDC, every year she's like, after the camp, like, when is the next camp? Like, okay, well, that's next year, so we have to they're really looking forward to going to the camp every year. Yeah, no doubt about it.
That's so
Cool.
sweet. Well, thank you. We really appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Well,
Sarah, did you have anything else? Or
yeah, we're good.
No, we're good. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your
for
day.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too. Bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Awesome. Well, just also just wanted to share before we go right into questions. We're going to get right into questions here in a second. That both Cameron and I got our start at YSSC too, and so we have spent several summers up there. We're very knowledgeable about what's going on. My kids attend YSSC as well. As a parent, even I will. Even being one of the directors, you still get those feelings too. So just know that those are natural things. But we kind of have an idea of what's going on up there. So if you have any questions for us, feel free to ask us as well, whether it's in the summer and the off season, as your campers get ready for next summer. All right, so let's see what we have here. A question for Sarah and Jessica. One, let's see here. I think we'll start with how do I know if my child is ready to go up to YSSC?
You want to take that one? I'm happy
We
to take
also,
that
I
one.
will make the comment. I love that question that we get it all the time, but so much so Dylan's going to talk a bit about some of the ways that we've been answering questions for parents, YSSC parents or YSSC considering parents, through our sessions called Morning on the Porch. We dedicated a whole Zoom session on answering that question. So Sarah can touch on that, but we'll definitely maybe Cameron can send a link in the chat to that page with all of our archive videos if you want to do a deep dive.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, just broad strokes in general, most children are ready for a sleepaway experience between the ages of 7 and 10, maybe 11. YSSC starts with the youngest age is 8 years old or entering 3rd grade. And kids at that age do very well. I would say that 10 years old is probably the most common age that kids start. And as you assess your own child's readiness, a couple things to think about is just their own development. Are they able to take direction? And I don't mean like 85 directions in a row, but when you say, hey, Logan, can you grab your sunscreen and put it on your face, that they're capable of doing that. And when you say it's time to brush our teeth, that they're capable of doing that. So just some of those, basic instruction is super helpful. It's great when they are capable of dressing themselves. They do not have to match. That's one of the things we need to let go of when our kids go off to camp.
Yes, yeah.
I have had a parent call the office one time and say, can you just teach them that plaid doesn't go with plaid? But you know what? They were modestly attired. They were ready for the day. It was awesome. Let's see. That ability to sleep in a bed by themselves. Some campers, might sleep with a sibling sometimes, or love crawling in bed with mom and dad, and that's fine. And before they go to camp, it is helpful that they have learned to be able to sleep peacefully in their own bed, maybe practicing by going to grandma or grandpa's and practicing, or on a sleepover. But not all kids, have done it before. I think in addition, some of the age appropriate friendship building skills, knowing how to reach out and listen to another. We will build those skills at camp for sure. Being open to making a friend, we will absolutely help kids make friends. That's one of our favorite things to do, but they would be open to new friendships. I would also mention that some kids, most kids, even most staff have a few days of homesickness at camp. And that's really, really normal. We address this actually in one of our mornings on the porch webinars as well. But for the most part, most children and most staff get over their homesickness in about 3 days. And it is such an important step of growth, and so exciting for them to say, you know what, I got over it. I'm all here. And we want to coach them and help them do that. It's a great skill. And talk about transference. They're going to need that same skill when they head off to college. Many of our staff members will say, who had been campers, will say, I leaned on that skill. I knew that in a few days I would feel at home here too. So those are just some very, a few little things. The last thing I would add would be, if they're asking, if they're expressing interest, they're ready. Now, the hard thing is, am I ready? And that's another conversation about how do we get ready as parents to let them go. And that can be another, topic for us to address sometime.
Yes. Yeah. We work with lots of our parents to help build some of those muscles too. You grow as well, not just your kids.
Yeah. What's our next question, John?
Yeah. Emerald Cove Day Camp, we allow for parents to request campers to be in the pod group. And this parent is wondering if that is the same up at YSSC for cabin groups and things like that. Can friends be in the same cabin?
Yes, I'll take that. Yeah. So yes, the short answer is yes, we do. We have this same kind of online platform where you submit those requests. So once you enroll in the springtime, around April-ish or so, we make our forms live. And so our parents get the opportunity to submit what's called, I believe, a YSSC bunk request form or a cabin request form. And we invite our parents to make a request for kids if your camper's coming with a friend. However, we do say that we honor the 2 friend requests. So sometimes we'll get a list of 7. We pride ourselves on that smaller cabin number, so they won't be able to be in a cabin with 18 of their closest friends. But But we do try to prioritize, those top two, friend requests, especially those that are mutual. So if your camper's coming with maybe two of their friends from day camp, connect with those parents and have them mutually request each other. That tells us that that's a group of 2 or 3 that really want to help deepen their friendship at camp. And we also love to be able to deepen friendships at camp, but we also love the friendship making skills. And so we want to pair them with, potentially another group of 2 or 3 friends, or campers that are coming by themselves. We have lots of campers who come by themselves and really get to learn that friendship building skill. And so we want to make sure we both have the opportunity to honor friendships that sometimes make us feel a little bit more comfortable that we would know someone, while also helping push them to grow in friendship skills and make new friends. So the long answer is yes, you can make those friend requests. Try to just list 2, make them mutual, and then we get to have the joy of reading through all of the different things that you write up on your camper, like our personality forms, our health histories, lots of different forms for us to read through, and then make these beautiful little family groups of about 5 to 7 kiddos that share interests and age and grade and demographic and all of that. So we love getting to make those intentional family groups based off of those bunk requests and personalities and all of that.
I will add, if I may, about a quarter of our campers come solo.
Mm-hmm.
They come not knowing anyone, and they dive right in. And again, when we do our job well, they make good friends. And in just a couple days, that cabin becomes their family.
Mm-hmm.
So if your camper is going to come solo, we work very hard to make sure they're not the only lone
Mm-hmm.
camper in a cabin. There will be another or several other kids that came on their own, and really designing those days for them to link up and become buds right away.
Cool. Well, I think we have time for one more quick one. So it's kind of more of a practical question. Like, do they have to drive their campers up to camp, or is there other modes of transportation?
Sure. Yes.
How do they get up there?
No. Yes. How do we get up there? Yes. So we have kind of 3 primary forms of transportation when it comes to camp. You are welcome to make the drives. Many of our first-time parents really like being able to make that drive with their kiddo. One, lots of car time, getting to talk about what they might be excited about, prep them for camp. And then you guys get to see the grounds. You're welcome to come on campus. You get to meet their counselor, meet one of us in person. We would love that. So many of our first-time parents really enjoy getting to drive their camper and pick up at the end. That one's really special as well. Lots of car time for stories and things like that. However, many of our families can't do that drive, and so we have a charter bus that we have come up from Orange County. They meet in Irvine, and so they, you drop off your kids, and they can take them up to camp. We also have 2 other spots for pickup in Pasadena and Valencia. So that Orange County charter bus, they're really comfortable. We've got lots of we have staff that supervise and chaperone, so it's not a wild mobile headed up to camp. And then the last option is for some of our out-of-state campers. They fly in and they fly into Fresno Airport, and then we shuttle and pick them up and bring them to camp. So those are kind of the 3. I would say the bus is the most common, and then we have parents that drive them up, and then we've got some flyers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. And I just add that kind of if you go with the bus option, that camp kind of starts then when they get on the bus with their staff there that greet them and kind of welcome them on, and they get to start making friends, start going through the process of like, here I am off to camp, and it's a pretty cool experience. Awesome. Well, thank you. This is we're going to end it here with our questions, but wanted to thank you guys so much for attending this Zoom. And we hope that it kind of answers some of your questions and helps you have a better understanding of what YSSC is all about, how it's similar to ECDC, but different, and helps you with that understanding that transition from one camp to another. But if it doesn't, if you still have some questions that we didn't answer at this time, please reach out to us. We can either have a conversation over the phone. We'd love to help answer some more of those questions. Our phone number is 949-361-2267. And then also we have all these other resources for you guys to look at on our website at YSSC.com, as well as the Mornings on the Porch that we included in the chat. There's several kind of webinar, kind of same kind of thing that we did here, but it kind of gives you a little bit more information. So many ways to learn about it. In fact, there's a Mornings on the Porch tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. And so if you go on the website, you can register for that. It's kind of the same way you did for this one. And we'd love to see you there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all we have for now. And we can't wait to see you guys all next summer.
Can I add one more thing, Don?
Yeah, sure.
Please.
I just want to mention that for those of you who know that this is the year for your camper to launch up to YSSC. Right now, there is savings for early registrations. And so if you hop on and register before, I'm forgetting the early bird deadline.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, I think for this Zoom, what we would love to offer.
Oh, yes.
So for all of our new families coming in, we're launching our early bird savings. But for this Zoom, for you guys, because you guys really are part of the family, we actually have a savings called our returning family savings that we have open to our returning families for the last month and a half or so. And we'd love to extend that for you guys as well. I believe one more week. So we'll send out the details on that right after we, hang up here. But we'll extend that returning family savings for you for 1 week as you kind of make that decision and think thoughtfully about whether your camper is ready for that. And if you want to go ahead and register them now with that savings.
Great. Thanks so much. We really appreciate you joining us.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Great rest of your day.
Bye. Thanks for joining.